Good morning, DBS. Today I'd like to talk about an up-and-coming event called the Home and Away Charity Football Tournament that will be taking place here at DBS on Saturday, 26 October. The main focus of the tournament is in fact the more than 6,000 over refugees and asylum seekers that are here in Hong Kong, trying to make ends meet or simply trying to survive. I guess before I go into the event itself and unpack it, allow me to give you all a bit of background knowledge of the refugee and asylum seeker situation in Hong Kong. So what's a refugee? The United Nations Refugee Agency, or the UNHRC, defines a refugee as someone who, owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion, is outside the country of his or her nationality and is unable to, or owing to such fear, is unwilling to avail himself or herself of the protection of that country. Now, refugees are not to be confused with asylum seekers, whose status is slightly different. An asylum seeker is a person who has left his or her country of origin, has applied for recognition as a refugee in another country, and is awaiting a decision on their application. Once you are conferred refugee status, you are, as a country, obliged under international law to offer protection and not to send the refugee concerned unwillingly back to his or her home country, where they risk being persecuted. Now, back home in Hong Kong, there are roughly around 6,000 refugees and asylum seekers. 5% of these have left their home countries due to tribal violence, while another 5% have left due to famine or economic hardship. However, the bulk of them, roughly 65%, have fled their country due to war, political threats, while another 25% of them have left due to religious persecution. Refugees and asylum seekers face a number of problems, including poverty, discrimination, helplessness, low self-worth, poor medical treatment, etc. However, our government does provide some aid to these refugees and asylum seekers in the form of some allowance for food, shelter, electricity, amounting to roughly $2,270 a month. By the way, refugees and asylum seekers are not permitted to work due to their status, lest they be fined 50,000 Hong Kong dollars and be slapped with a 3-year jail sentence. Well, obviously, this is not enough. And a lot of gaps, including day-to-day living expenses, training workshops, counseling services, have to be filled in by NGOs like Christian Action and Vine Community Services. So after having said all that, we now come back to the Home and Away Charity Football Tournament, which will take place on October 26, which is a Saturday. It is a partnership between the Vine Community Services, Christian Action, both of which are charitable organizations, and also us, DBS. There will be around 16 teams playing, including the DSOBA, the DBS staff team, major corporations like JP Morgan, Clifford Chance, G2000, Morgan Stanley, to name a few, and a few refugee teams as well. Each team is committed to raising funds for the refugees, which will be channeled back into the VCS and also Christian Action to enable them to help these refugees. So the question beckons, how can we help? Well, there are a number of ways. We will be having a pre-tournament open mic night at the lawn outside the lecture hall on the evening of October 19th. That's also a Saturday. Students and staff will be performing, tickets and food will be sold, all proceeds will be going towards the staff team's commitment to the refugees. We will also be needing volunteers on the day of the open mic night and also on Saturday, 26th of October, tournament day. This will also be an OLE CAS opportunity for you, so if you're interested in helping out, come see me to sign up. I'm at the SIP office. Or, if staff and students would like to perform something on a night of open mic, that is the 19th of October, we still have room to spare. For those who are interested in performing, please see Mr. Justin Jackson at the IB building or me. And of course, donations are always welcome. I'd like to conclude my sharing today with a piece of scripture from the Bible. It's from James chapter 1, verse 27. And this is what James says: religion that our God accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Today, our city's 6,000 over refugees and asylum seekers are world orphans who do not have a country to go back to because of war, because of political or religious persecution. I remember many moons ago, I was up here on stage and I spoke about the need for building our values in the face of a valuables-only society, one that the world has convinced us is the only way to go. And I'd like to take this opportunity to extend that call now. Oftentimes, we are told to go for the goal and to get it. Nothing wrong with that. However, it is equally, if not more important, that in light of that, we not forget to nurture and safeguard a heart of gold. That we should not be satisfied with simply the superficial, but should build on something significantly more substantial. That in spite of the world trying to convince us of our holier-than-thou-ness, and some of us simply talking holy, or even going through the motions of singing holy, 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 we can still walk the talk and grow a more holistic sense of holiness. That we are not just about face and very little grace. And last but not the least, that this city on a hill should not just be about social respectability, but also about social responsibility. Once upon a time, our school was known as the Diocesan Home and Orphanage. Now, we have a chance to extend a helping hand to the orphans of the world. And I leave you with a few words, lyrics penned by Grammy Award nominee Michael Gungor, an American singer-songwriter who was here in Hong Kong a few months ago for the Justice Conference 2013. And this is taken from his latest song, I Am a Mountain. I've been wandering through the world, looking for an anchor to hold me. I've been stumbling through this world, searching for the thread that might free me. To the city on a hill, I ask you, will you be that extra thread that might help to set these people free to live more fruitful lives? Will you not help move some mountains? And with that, I leave you to ponder. Thank you.